firstly, Callum, you mentioned some names of people who are circling there.
Yeah.
The names you mentioned epitomise exactly what Labour's problem is right now, which is that they don't know what they are. They've got no idea what sort of political party they are. They don't know their centre of gravity. They don't know their voter base. So you mentioned Ed Miliband, very much the kind of metropolitan eco-lefty will appeal to a very public sector, more middle-class base. You mentioned Wes Streeting. He's the sort of Blairite reformer of this and therefore very different to a kind of Miliband, more of a David Miliband, frankly, than an Ed Miliband. Shabana Mahmood, much more of an appeal to your sort of more working class, frankly, the sort of voter who's going to reform. All fine in their own right, but they're not necessarily going to get 40% of the electorate. They're all appealing to small parts. And this is a party that, as I say, has lost its balance, has lost its centre of gravity, doesn't know what it's going for anymore. The only two parties in British politics who know who they're going for are the Greens and Reform. Polanski and Farage are the two people who understand what their voter base is and understand how to get them. Labour and the Tories have got no idea. And that's more of a problem for Labour because they're in government. The Tories don't need to have an idea right now, but Labour do. And one other thing I find interesting is how... So we all know that it was a big majority in Parliament made up of small majorities in constituencies. So, it was a very, very, very thin victory, 100 miles wide and an inch deep, as they say. But nonetheless, he's still got the parliamentary majority. And the people who he's got in Parliament are all going to lose their seats if there's an election anytime soon. The turkeys are not going to vote for Christmas. So why is he not able to exercise power over his backbenchers by saying, you're going to do what I tell you to do, and if you're not, there's going to be an election and you're going to be out of a job? That's quite a powerful message in politics. It always has been. And all the way back to last year's welfare debacle when he wasn't able to get his mild welfare cuts through, he's never exercised that sort of power in Parliament. And I think that epitomises the weakness that Starmer now has. He has no control over his party, despite the fact that they all depend on being in government for their jobs. He's completely lost it.